What's good, man? It's OG Drip, man. This channel where we talk about the spiritual truth and how to utilize energy on a day-to-day basis, man. And today, y'all, we're going to be talking about how to utilize that Naruto energy, you feel me? So, the spiritual meaning behind Naruto. This ain't saying this is the reason why they created Naruto, but this is the point of how Naruto came in existence and why it still exists and why the power actually worked for it. Because, see, listen, one thing about it, dog, y'all got to remember, it's all like a magic show, right? When people become aware to it, it gains attraction and start gaining attention. Right? So this is the same thing that happens when we was as spirits, when we became aware to this earth and start actually creating the earth, actually creating feelings and emotions and stuff like that. So this is getting deep. So now when you start getting to a spiritual level that you're able to dive into other people to see the reason or the concept behind what they was actually making, it gets real deep, especially with this here. You feel me? With Naruto, if you ever notice, he had an awkward birth, right? Basically, his mom and his dad had done died, but his mama had to basically sacrifice herself, stab herself, however you want to look at it. I don't want to get too far into those details, but I just want you to kind of hear the story of how his mom and his dad basically had to sacrifice themselves to themselves to be able to put this AKA beast in his belly. But you got to remember now, this beast that been coming in his belly, it left a sign on his belly, right? So now when we say his belly, you got to remember. Now, space also could be called the belly of existence, right? And it contains planets. So now if you look at Naruto's stomach, it has a circle, right? With 5 symbols on it. Now those 5 symbols represent the planets. The sun, the moon represents his mom, his dad. So when you looking at it like that, it started getting deep till you can see how it even came to how he even came to life. Now you see that circle, that spin, that circle is the spiral of life. See, as we go through life, we have stages and shades of evolution that we go through. You know what I mean? And this is breaking that down and showing you all just on his belly. Now, we're not even getting into the story yet to even explaining how this is being backed up and supported, right? So let's think about this, right? Now, one thing we know about Naruto is if you watch it, you know what I mean? When he first was going into this inner demon, that's what it was called. One called the inner beast at the time. Everybody was looking at it as a demon. They even called him, that's the demon child. You know what I'm saying? Because he's the one that harnessed the demon that's in his belly. You know what I mean? And they like, oh, one day he might turn against the world. Now, boom. Now let me explain something in spirituality. When you become woke compared to like the sheep around this world, that is what it's appeared to look like, for real. You the one that look evil, not them. You don't want to look evil trying to tell them that their God or whatever they're trying to perceive is not what it's out to be, even though they can read it in their scriptures if they look hard enough, you feel me? And know what they reading. But this is like the breakdown of how these things work. Because when y'all notice Naruto first was going into this stage and was first being active with his inner demon or whatever, notice that the thing came out and it wasn't pure. So this letting you know that we all have chakras. And this finna start breaking down the curses and the blessings of our chakras. That's why I be telling people like, dib and dabble in things. Don't get stuck into something and now you're in it. You gotta dib and dab. Don't jump into nothing just like beep and jump over to the side or whatever. Because this is what happened when he was jumping into his demonic energy, but it was his inner beast. You feel what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, what he did was took in what everyone from the outside was saying. Instead of him being a messenger for everybody, he was letting everybody put their message to him. So it put him in a demonic stage, demonic feature, until he found out more about himself, right? Till he found out that it's actually not even a demon inside of me. It's actually an inner beast. And then what you see him shaking hands with it, becoming more friends with it. So first he have a little thing where he learned with like a frog of how to like deal with basically they're little supernatural animals, however you want to say it, right? So when it came down to him coming back to his beast, he knew how to handle the inner beast. He knew how to come in contact with it and knew how to talk to it and knew that it was more important than all the things that he faced. When he did that, he slapped fists with it or whatever. Man, this man came out. What did he come out as? Like, he came out as a whole different form. You see what I'm saying? So that lets you know he evolved in our face. But the way to show it is through his evolution of him finding out his true self, finding out more about his chakras, to the fact that he got so good at it, at the end of the whole season or whatever you want to look at, he found a way to help other people remember who they was. You see what I'm saying? And help them remind who they was. And they went to snapping back like, oh, Lord, this is who I am? Oh, man. I can't believe I forgot who I was. One of the guys was the one that was with Mara, right? Obito. Obito was with Leaf Village first, right? And he went outside of the Leaf Village and got with basically the ops, right? So when he got with the ops, they taught him a different way of living. So he had to learn. See, this is what I be talking about. When you got to learn how to be humble, but you got to know how to get into that demon energy too. Because if you be too humble, you get trumbled over. And that's a lot of things Naruto was facing inside the episodes as well. But now, if you seen how it's easy to grasp this stuff out of there, bro, and you could really look at the signs and symbols. One thing about it, bro, when these people using a sign for something and a symbol for something, and you wondering why it's blowing, why is it getting awareness and stuff like that, bro, that's the real magic, bro. Don't let these people fool you and stuff like that. How a magic trick work? They tell you, hey, everybody, look, look, look. They don't even just over there doing it themselves. You know what I'm saying? They want awareness to it. Whether the magic trick is fake, real, or whatever. The whole point was to get you to look. You know what I mean? But yeah, I'm a little under the weather, y'all. You see the sweat coming out. That's good though. Trying to get this little cold out. My body hadn't dropped below temperature and got sick. You know what I mean? Cold or whatever. But not to get off the topic or whatever. But just to say, when you see the paths, what it was called, his paths, like the paths of life that he was going through, right? You know what I mean? And you seen each different ninja in the camp. They had their own little path of life. But Naruto's on is the actual spiritual sense of what we going through. And the people in the jungle is like the people that we're trying to relate to and trying to get them to be subconsciously aware to what's going on in the world, bro. Because at the end of the day, like I said, teamwork make the dream work. Naruto was strong. He was beast mode. He had the stronger inner beast. They had to create a 10-tail or whatever after his 9-tail or whatever. And then it all coming out to his beast, trying to take his inner beast. So he went through a lot of fights and a lot of struggles to become the strongest character, the most lovable character on the whole thing. Like, you know what I mean? He's able to get along with bad guys, find out why they was even bad from the beginning. He found out that one of them, you know what I'm saying? He be finding out like the only thing they was taught was to kill. Like, y'all gotta understand that, bro. That shit get deep with races, because when I look at communities and all this, you got communities that when we go broke, or when they go broke, or whatever, however you want to put it, and I'm saying we as in the people, is there's strip clubs, selling drugs, and da-da-da. And there's nothing wrong with that when you got to feed your family. I understand that. Trust me, I understand that shit. But at the end of the day, these are the options that comes to certain people and individual depending on the route of the living that they're going through. So if you look at it, the ninja clan, right? It was this little clan, but you had other clans outside of it. Some of them weren't even mentioned. Some of them, they thought they died off, like indigenous. You get what I'm saying? Bro, it gets deep, because when you really dig down into this stuff, you start seeing more unfold. You start even seeing why Transformers, like, and all of these different shows, like why they even working in the beginning. Because you got to think, bro, it be plenty of other animes getting created. Every day, you got people on the computer trying to create this stuff. But it's just like certain stuff hits and it sinks. Not only is it a good show, but what makes the show good is it's relatable, because we all have feelings and emotions. We have these chakras, right? And what this, if you ever notice in the Naruto, it's always talking about the chakra level. It's always talking about the chakra level. But for some reason, they can't drain all the chakra out of Naruto. It's like weird. You get what I'm saying? Because this just is showing you like the everlasting life behind it. So he didn't always just live off his chakra. That's what it's trying to break down to you. That he released his chakra, especially when he became the Sage mode, so basically the God mode or whatever. But yeah, man. So basically that's what it is. So it's like basically us on this planet. It's like an anime of Adam and Eve, right? But instead of it being Adam and Eve, it was Naruto parents. And instead of it being physical, it still was just drawing out to show us how stars work and how, you know, shit works on this earth, and how you go on with directions, and how do you know you going on the right path and stuff like that, man. So it's like a whole bunch of it. Like, it's a whole bunch of breakdowns to it, and you guys will be able to see it more on your own, you know what I'm saying, as y'all become more aware to it. Like, damn, hold on, I see what he's talking about. Let me dig into this some, and let me figure out, shoot, y'all might be coming up with some things, right? Because, shoot, even what his name, Madara, and I don't forgot the other dude name, the little demon dude or whatever. But you see at the end, he came back to help And like they basically needed that nigga, Orochimaru. And they basically needed him. If you notice, Orochimaru was always the snake. And if you notice in Adam and Eve story, it's a snake, a serpent, right? And it's talking about knowledge. So if y'all ever notice, the most knowledgeable person on the whole Naruto would be the snake dude. You know what I'm saying? And he always teaching people. He know all the jitsus, all this and that. Like, think about it, bro. So you know that I'm not literally making it up. So if you looking at the show now and you looking at it now, you might even appreciate it more, bro. And that be the thing about it, man. We could look and see how they use our stuff to still grow, but they still need us, bro. Listen, it'll get to the point that we'll shine so bright that the Illuminati will be just like the Obito dude and whatever, and be like, dang, you right. You know what I'm saying? Let me let you do what you do, and we'll just fall in line. You never know, bro. So at the end of the day, this is why it is important for us to be understanding of how our spirit work and how they flutter, like how they, you know what I'm saying, throw it in your face and show you how it work. And you looking at it work, and you like, damn, what just happened? Like, you know what I'm saying? And that, like I said, it's like magic at the end of the day. But man, I'm over here sweating like crazy. I'm finna get to the rest of these videos. I wanted to drop this for all my anime lovers, man. You know what I'm saying? And anything, like I said, if y'all got down below that y'all figure out about, just like I was just saying, Orochimaru is basically the serpent. He the one that come with the knowledge of telling you, oh, this and that. You see, he took over Sasuke. So not to get too out of details, when you start looking at the other characters, just look at them like break-offs of what come with this chakra. Like, oh, this what comes with the root chakra. Oh, this what comes with the heart chakra. And you gotta let me know what y'all come up with yourself and so forth, man. But anyways, I'm out, man. OG Drill.